Hey everyone, welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel where you're getting daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. And when we say so much more, we're talking about things like this. Our Love Marriage Huntsville live recap. I've already posted the backstage link for our Royal Court members. If you would like to become a member of our membership program here on YouTube, head on over to this video. Under the video, there should be a join button. If you're watching from your phone, you can either head to a computer or you can head directly to TheKempire.com and join our either Team Kempire level or our Royal Court membership level. Appreciate you all being here on this Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, depending on where you're watching, or the next day. Shout out to all of our folks that are already in the chat. I see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I love it, love it, love it. Love seeing the crowns. Drop your crowns in the chat. Shout out to B. Love it. Someone else told me that it's raining and storming over in London. Hey, Nicole, what's going on? Hey, Danielle. See you. Danielle's already backstage because she's a Royal Court member. Shout out to our Royal Court members. Louisville, Kentucky. There's so many places in Happy Sunday Crown. Yes. What's going on, everyone? Let's give people a moment to get into the chat before we get into this Love and Marriage Huntsville recap. It was a good episode. It was a good episode. And before I know it, the episode's over and I'm like, oh. So there isn't a lot to talk about, but it looks like a lot is coming in regards to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let me just open my notes here, y'all. I just want to make sure I have all my notes in front of me. Okay, let's just take care of some business. If you've missed out on any of the videos, as I said before, you get daily and consistent hot topics here on the channel. So there's a lot of stories that you may have missed out this past week, including some Real Housewives of Beverly Hills stories. Yesterday, we posted a couple of news stories and went live to talk about Fallon Gobadia and the Real Housewives of Atlanta casting news. So be sure to check that out here on the channel. As I said before, because you're getting daily and consistent content, there's a lot of content that you may have missed out on. I also posted some under a minute and some stories that are under 15-second hot topics. So if you just want to be in the know of what's going on in pop culture, check those out. You have quick and easy ways of getting to be in the mix of what's going on. And let me just remind you where you guys can join our texting community. Either text me at that number or sign up for our texting community at TheKempire.com. TikTok, if you just joining us, head on over to one of our other platforms. That way I'll be able to see your comments there as well. And we're live on Kempire Daily on YouTube. We're live on Facebook, The Kempire, and Kempire Daily on Facebook. And we're live on Twitter at The Kempire. And we're live on Twitch at The Kempire as well. I see you all in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Let me take a sip. Okay, that was more than a sip. All right, let's get into this. So if you don't know, Love and Marriage Huntsville, this was the second episode, right? Season 3, second episode. The first episode started off with a bang, but based on what we see is going to happen next week, it gets even juicier, and they're introducing new characters. This last episode, we didn't get to see Destiny, and I thought Destiny brought it in the very first episode. So hold on. Ida, FYI, and I'm not promoting piracy, but there are channels on YouTube that air it live and you can still watch the episodes. Just an FYI for those that don't have OWN. I need to find out where I can watch Married at First Sight because everyone keeps asking me to review it, but I have YouTube TV and I am not about to add another streaming platform just to get Lifetime. Lifetime, y'all need to do better, or YouTube, y'all need to do better. I need to be able to see Married at First Sight. I'm watching old episodes and I love it. So I would love to recap it. So stay tuned. I'm figuring out those details. So hopefully soon I'll be able to recap Married at First Sight because that is a mess. That is a mess, y'all. Anyways, if you're just joining us, we're recapping Love and Marriage Huntsville, last night's episode. And I'll be real with you guys. I like the show. Do I love Love and Marriage Huntsville? No, it's not. I don't love the show, but I like where it's going and I can see the possibility of what it can do. Let me turn my fan up, y'all. I have my AC and my fan on. Studio lights, all that kind of stuff. Y'all, can we just talk before we get into this recap? I know y'all, some of y'all be like, Kempire, just get into it. This is why we do the live recaps. You can always fast forward. I was putting a desk together. I would never say that I'm not handy. I don't like to be handy. I much rather pay someone to do it than me do it. But I said, every once in a while, to save a buck, put it together yourself. Put it together yourself. So I put this desk together, and it wasn't that bad. Shout out to Fully, unless y'all want to promote, y'all want to sponsor the channel. So I got a new desk. I haven't set up the full off. This is not the desk. I'm using a dining room table right now. Okay, let's be real. I'm using a dining room table, and it's a beautiful dining room table. It's a beautiful one, but it's not functional for what we're doing here. I need an office table. I got a standing desk. That way, sometimes I don't really love always doing these lives and sitting, because sometimes I just want to kind of move and be like, and then groove. And then when you guys give me a super chat, I want to be able to shimmy. I can't shimmy the same in a chair. Anyways, I'm digressing way too much. Let's talk about how Marcel was shimmying through this episode. Look, I want to like Marcel. Melody, and I want to know how you guys feel about Melody Holt. There's something about her, like, I respect some of the things that she's done so far this season in regards to how she's handling that 47 acres request for her to build. I like how she's moving in that regard, and also how she's handling the whole children situation and them needing counseling. But there's something about Melody. I'm just like, almost too much of like, I'm managing my music career, my bit, and I think there's just might be just who she is. I respect the hustle. Don't get me wrong. I respect her hustle. I respect her in a lot of different ways, but there's just something about Melody that I just can't gravitate to. Kimmy is my favorite. Kimmy and Maurice, like, they're my favorite couple on the show. Judy said, well, the voices do bother me, but her voice doesn't bother me as like some other people. Like Mia Thornton from The Real Housewives of Potomac. I like how Mia's moving. She is really stepping up to be a real good housewife, but her voice kind of annoys me. But it is what it is. Anyways, you know what? Hold on, y'all. I don't have my screen open for the chat because as I said to you before, I am shifting the, hold on, let me just mute this. Chat. Let me mute this because I need to see how many likes we have and things like that. Once we get to 100 likes, I'll drop the call link so you guys can share your thoughts on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So as I said to you before, I don't know how I'm feeling about Melody. I'm not sure how I feel about her. And this is since season 1. But there are some really redeeming qualities. But as I said to you before, Kimmy and Maurice are my favorite, although they don't really have much of a storyline besides Kiowa. Kiowa is still in love with Maurice, and I don't blame her because Maurice is handsome. He seems level-headed. He's probably the one that got away, even though she's married to someone else. She just seems very unhappy. Based on what we've seen, she just seems a little unhappy. In this episode, she does say that she wants to have a conversation with them. I love how Kimmy was like, insert herself. They're on the FaceTime or whatever. And when I say insert herself, rightfully so, she's like, I'm here. Why don't you say that we're all here? Maurice, you need to do better with that, especially if you're trying to make the relationship better. But Kiowa says that she wants to make the relationship better. But I'm fast forwarding. At the top of the show, and this is very unimportant, but we'll talk about it because last week we were talking about the fight between Kimmy and Latisha. So both couples are talking about the conversation that they had at Latisha's graduation party. I'm still Kimmy on this one because Latisha, you were wrong. If that's supposed to be your sister-in-law or your sister, you talking to the ex-wife and talking about girl code, you ain't no kind of friend. That's your sister-in-law. And I know, look, so technically that Kiowa was her first her sister-in-law. So I guess where it's dicey, but if you're trying to cultivate a relationship with Kimmy, that play Switzerland. Don't get in the middle of it. I almost forgot that part. Technically, Kiowa, however you pronounce her name, we'll call it Kiki. He likes women with the name K, huh? So basically, I get where Latisha might feel a little bit of a back and forth, but just don't get involved and don't expect Kimmy to be loyal to you when you haven't been loyal to her. And especially if you know Kimmy's character and the whole insinuation that Kimmy was getting with Maurice while he was still married, I wouldn't want that on me either. Especially if it's not true. Yes, Lulu, Kiki. Can we just call her Kiki? You know what it is? Look, I hate saying I'm team anyone because we are all Team Kempire. If you're here, you're Team Kempire all day, every day. Okay? But that wasn't the general main story of episode 2 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you're just joining us, we're recapping Love and Marriage Huntsville. That was a very small story this week in regards to Kimmy versus Latisha. And I think the majority of us are team Kimmy on this one because Kimmy just makes sense. Latisha, as Kimmy said last week, we spoiled her. She acts like a spoiled child. It's time to grow up, Latisha. It's time to grow up. But before we move on to Marcel and Melody, they talk about Marcel possibly having a side baby. Well, Latisha said, if you had a side baby, I would take you for everything that you're worth. And we remember those stories. We also remember Marcel going live. We posted that live on our Kempire Daily YouTube page. So if you missed that, where he comes at the bloggers all about the tea, he called them all about the something else. And look, I'm not sure if those rumors were true. If he had any side relationships, it wouldn't shock me, especially with the way how chauvinistic he was in the very beginning of the season. But as we said last week, Marcel and Mama Wanda add so much to Latisha's storyline because Latisha is kind of a snooze fest, right? Just saying. Hold on. Okay. Hold on, D. D says, can you believe that Latisha admitted that her party probably went smoothly because her mother wasn't there? What will Wanda say? I mean, Wanda's a little bit of a troublemaker, but we love her. And as I said before, she adds so much to the show in regards to Latisha's storyline because she really, she has a storyline, but she's not that interesting. She's not that interesting. Just saying. We have over 100 people watching this video. Be sure to like the video. When we get to 100 likes, I'll be dropping the call-in link so you guys can share your thoughts on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So, as I said to you before, Latisha and the Kimmy beef, that's a small part. The Latisha and Marcel talking about the whole side baby rumors and being confronted by her family about those side baby rumors. First of all, why is it, hold on, where's my AirPods? Why is it every man in Huntsville, I hope this doesn't mess up my audio, they all got the one. They all got the one. It's like, if y'all don't, first of all, I'm too scared that I'm going to lose my AirPods. Never mind. Where's the other AirPod? Did y'all notice that? Chris, the real estate agent, did it. Martel did it. Oh, Latisha's brother did it. I was like, that must be a Huntsville thing. I said, if y'all don't find that other AirPod. The things that I noticed, especially after watching it twice. I watched it again this morning. It's a good show. It's a very good show. As I said to you, it's not my favorite show. I think there's just something that needs to be done, but we have to give grace to these shows, especially when it's a new possible franchise. As you guys see, it seems as if Carlos is going to try and put this out as Love and Marriage Huntsville and then maybe a Love and Marriage Brooklyn. I keep saying it. So when it happens, you know Carlos is watching. Carlos has been on Kempire Radio before. We've interviewed him a long time ago. We'll interview him again. But I'm waiting for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Love and Marriage Brooklyn. I'm ready for it. No, and I don't want a New York City. No, I want a Love and Marriage Brooklyn. Because there's some really amazing couples doing big things here in New York too. But I love that he's staying in these other areas that we wouldn't normally know about. But I'm waiting for Love and Marriage Brooklyn. Yeah, right? Yes, just simply speak it into existence. And you know what, Carlos, let's add if you're going to do Love and Marriage Brooklyn, let's add a gay couple in there, gay or lesbian, whatever it may be. Let's do. I know there's plenty of those out there too. I would watch. Exactly. Sean Shante said I would watch Brooklyn. I'm already excited about it, and it's not even here. Somebody tweet Carlos our suggestion. I need a Love and Marriage Brooklyn. I'm actually surprised. I know this is only the third season that we haven't delved into another city, but I'm sure Carlos is working on that. So that's probably part of the reason why he can't go to Atlanta and save Atlanta next season. Okay, guys? I know you all, I see it all the time. People are saying, we need Carlos in Atlanta. And if you missed our tea on the Real Housewives of Atlanta yesterday, be sure to check that video out. Let's get back into this. Okay, one of the things that Latisha said, before we move on to Martell and Melody, one of the things that Latisha said in regards to her relationship with Kimmy, she was like, abide. Did you guys pay attention to that word that she used? If Kimmy would abide by her standards? I'm paraphrasing here. I said, abide? Latisha, what? What? Anyone else notice that? Abide? I said, if she doesn't go sit down somewhere, Latisha, go sit down somewhere. About abide. Anyways, let me move on because they were the least interesting parts of last night's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I want to get into Martell and Melody. Did you guys notice? These are the little things that I noticed. And I normally don't notice all these little details. You notice how Melody and Martell were matching when he first went to go pick up the kids? Martell looked good in his little outfit, though. Come on, Martell can dress. I don't like one of his confessional looks, but overall, Martell can dress. He is toxic AF. Don't get me wrong, but he's a good-looking man, and he can dress. I like to see him on the show. He's always sharp. Always sharp. But did you guys notice how they were matching? And that's a hard color to match. That was like this bluish. I can't even tell what kind of blue. It was almost purplish. I said, are they matching? Are they coming together for this storyline? And the other part of this, and shout out to Carlos because we've never seen this, a divorced couple doing confessionals together and then fighting in the confessionals together. I love it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Shout out to Carlos. I loved it. But I did notice that they were matching. I was like, are y'all about to go out into town? It would really shock me. And this is one of the questions I would pose to Melody and Martell. Was that planned, or do you guys just, you're still in sync? Being married over a decade together, are you guys just still in sync? At the end of the episode, first of all, sidebar, Melody can rock almost any hair color, but I like the red hair. The red hair was actually really cool. I was like, Melody. But then I saw her in another bob, like the dark black hair. Melody, she can really rock any color. But I did like the red hair. So they have a conversation about what Martell said on his social media. And look, I thought it was a dig. I get what Martell is saying in regards to now he has a fifth child, but he could have left that last piece out, especially because he was talking about his last child with Melody. But she's talking to him about how he is going on social media and how he's handling things on social media. Another thing that I noticed, before Melody goes to answer the door, you notice how Melody was just sort of sashaying down the stairs? I was like, if you don't run down those stairs and answer the door like you're a normal human being, that's the only thing with Melody and Martell. I feel like it's a little pre-produced. It's a little too much pre-production. Her coming down the stairs. I was like, girl, if you don't run down those stairs like if somebody else was at the door. The weird things that I noticed. Either way, their conversation, Melody and Martell do their back and forth. Look, I see where Melody's coming from, and I also see where Martell is coming from. But I do think Martell could be handling this a little bit better because you remember this was a baby he had while he was still married to Melody. It's still a sore subject for her, rightfully so. But then Martell goes in and he's talking with Melody's mom, and Melody's mom is like, we need to have a conversation at some point. And I don't blame her. This is her baby girl that you cheated on. And then when she put her hand up and he was like, kids come, because I forgot her mother's name. Anyway, it's unimportant. Oh, she's putting her hand up. He could have left that part out. The kids are already going through whatever they're going through. Their whole family has been shook up. And it's playing out on TV. And you have kids old enough to see this play out on social media. And they've been playing this out on social media. I'm going to need y'all to grow up, though. Stop playing these things out on social media. So him saying that, I was just like, oh, Lord, you could have left that part out. Just take the kids and go. Just take the kids and go. There was another part that I wanted to talk. That's not, look, as I said to you before, the thing about Melody I don't love is it was like, oh, I got this going on, that going on. She has a conversation with this woman, Tiffany, who is going to bring drama next episode. So I don't really want to delve too much into Tiffany, but we're introduced to Tiffany. Tiffany, I didn't think she was going to bring drama. She looks all sweet. No, she's going to bring some drama to Kimmy next week. And I think to Destiny. We'll talk about that next week. But I'm interested to see what she's going to bring. But then Marcel meets up with Chris, the real estate agent that last week went to Melody to try and build a home or homes on that 47 acres that they just sold. So Chris tells Marcel that he went to Melody, and Melody told him that, you need to, discuss this with Marcel before we can do any business. And Marcel is like, Chris, why would you go to my ex-wife? And this is where, look, I get what Marcel is saying, because out of friendship, yes, that's what you probably should have done. But Marcel talking about loyalty when you're probably the most unloyal person, at least in your marriage. I don't know about your friendships, but at least in your marriage, you're probably the most unloyal person. It's hard to have your back, especially when we've seen what we've seen transpire on social media. Sidebar. We forgot to talk about how they were showing clips of all the interviews that Marcel did, like the Strawberry Letter with Steve Harvey when he was on Dr. Heavenly's YouTube channel. And when, shout out to Funky Geneva, part of his interview was posted up on this episode. I was like, these YouTube streets, yo, they're making it to all these reality shows. So shout out to all of them. But yeah, the conversation got heated. And part of me, like I said, doesn't blame Marcel for being upset at Chris, because I do feel like that was a little shady of Chris. But Chris is putting it on the buyer, saying, oh, the buyer wanted to do business. But you're also friends with Marcel, and you already know how Marcel is. I think just out of respect, you can be like, well, the buyer wants me to reach out to Melody about building on this property. Part of me, we talked about this last week, feels as if Melody really is the business mind. Like she is the best part of Marcel when it comes to business. Because Marcel talks about how business has been slow this year in regards to him doing business, and that's why he started doing other things, and now he's trying to get his builder's license and da da da. It sounds like Marcel doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to business. Based on how we're seeing it. I don't know this for a fact. As I said before, I don't know this for a fact. But it seems as if Marcel might not know what he's doing when it comes to business. We saw that with his conversation with Destiny last week, him not signing the contract. But on one hand, I understood where he was coming from, because he was in the middle of a divorce and he didn't want her to get whatever business that he develops during that time. That makes sense to me. But based on what we're seeing, I bet Chris was like, you're not the brains of this operation. Melody's the brains. So I want to go to her. So I didn't want to even put it in your vicinity, but it is what it is. Angelically, Angela says Marcel is struggling without Melody. He really is. I think Marcel wants his cake and eat it too. He wanted to have his side pieces, but also wanted to have his family. And we see that in the conversation that they have in this co-parenting class. And I wonder if this co-parenting class really was them trying to be good co-parents, because it is important. You have 4 kids with this woman, young kids. And part of me wonders if this was a part of the show doing it. If it's a part of the show, I'm okay with it, because I want them to realistically have a good, healthy co-parenting situation, because there's such young kids involved. I thought the co-parenting conversation was gut-wrenching. I didn't expect Marcel to get emotional, to see Melanie break down, because this is real. This is really happening. They really got a divorce. They really have children. And were they shading the other therapist, that man therapist, or was there another therapist that I can't recall? Because I feel like Marcel was shading him, but he was one of the best therapists that I saw on reality TV in a long time. Y'all can correct me in the comments. Because were they shading that doctor? Because I thought he was good. Marcel was saying he was biased. I was like, are we talking about the same therapist? Someone in my TikTok chat says, Tiffany says, did you already speak on Marcel? The MFer is cheating. We did talk about Marcel and him talking about a side baby and him did he ever deny it though? I know Tisha was like, if you ever did that, just simply says, yes, he was a good therapist. Tiffany says, I actually shed a tear. It was, because Marcel, he was holding back, but Melody ended up crying in this co-parenting session. But I love how they go from this co-parenting session to outside fighting about this building situation. Yes, Susie, he laughed it off. I know, but he didn't deny it. That's the part I'm like, let me take a sip, y'all. Key Girl in my TikTok chat says, I agree, Marcel is struggling. I'm hoping he can get together. He was definitely wrong, but, and here's the thing, and I like the fact that Melody brought up how Black people generally don't go to therapy, but she believes the kids do need therapy because she's seeing the signs, and Marcel probably doesn't want to see the signs because if he saw the signs, it would be a reflection upon him and what he's done to this family and to this marriage. But I'm glad that she brought it up. The kids do need therapy because you can't say that this has not affected them. It's playing out on television. It's playing out on social media. They're young kids, and now they went from having two parents to parents that are separated. And I'm sure they're hearing these arguments. They've said it during the show. They're hearing these arguments. So I feel for the kids. And it's so crazy to me that they had this little baby right before this all blew up. But do you guys think the show messed up this relationship, or was this relationship bound to be messed up? Was this relationship bound to be messed up? Probably bound to be messed up. Martel, let me look at the likes. Let's get to 100 likes, y'all, before I drop the calling link. Martel disliked the video, or Marcel. We didn't really say anything bad about Marcel. It was definitely Martel. It's okay, Martel. It's all right. All right. Once we get to 100 likes, I'll drop the calling link. If you're part of our Royal Court membership here on YouTube, you already received the StreamYard backstage link. So that's a surprise perk that's not listed in the perks that you guys have been getting lately. Also, tonight it is a subscribers only chat to recap right after the Real Housewives of Potomac. Last week we did a members only. This week we're going to do a subscribers only. And tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, my girls, The Grace Report and Layla Lynn TV will be joining me here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel to recap the Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay? And y'all know my brain shifts. Like I have all kinds of different opinions the next day. So tonight I might say one thing, tomorrow I might say another. But especially when I have conversations with my girls Layla and Grace. So be sure to check that out. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of that. Okay. Hold on. Let me just see what you guys are saying. Let me bring Danielle. Danielle, I'm going to bring you up because Danielle would like to say something. What's going on, Danielle? A Royal Court member.
Hey there. Happy Sunday, everyone. How are you?
Sunday.
Okay, so one thing I want to say real quick that a lot of people probably didn't even know about this show, but maybe 2019, OWN Network had a show called To Have and to Hold Charlotte, which they had a married couple. I mean, they had a gay couple there.
Oh.
Yeah, they had, and it was a special situation because one of the guys was previously married to a woman who he had children with. And then he finally came out, got divorced from her, and now they were trying to have a modern family and introduce the kids to his new, I think it was like his fiance at the time.
Mm.
I think that show only did 2 seasons. It didn't.
That's not bad though.
Me and my girlfriends enjoy it, but we also miss it too, and it never came back. But so they have done the gay couple thing. I don't know what happened. It was 5 different couples.
Sorry, go ahead.
5 couples, Charlotte, North Carolina, own network. I think, don't quote me, but I think it did 2 seasons. But me and my girlfriends thought it was cute, but it didn't make it, obviously.
But I mean, if they had 2 seasons, that's not bad. But I like that idea. But what do you think about my idea about Love and Marriage Brooklyn? Just thought of it makes me laugh.
I think I want another small town like Huntsville. I don't want a major city like Brooklyn. We love Brooklyn because I'm just think Love and Hip Hop kicked off because of New York, Brooklyn, Manhattan. So I like the small towns. The small towns give us Tisha's mom with the wigs and the the old hairdos, and Melody with these whack wigs. And I like the small towns. Maybe a Jacksonville, Florida or something.
Oh, speaking of gay couples, do you think the former mayor of
Shut up. You so messy.
Only people that know what I'm talking about will get what I'm saying right now.
You are messy.
I'd like to see it. That's an unconventional relationship.
It is. That's a good point. But I don't think he would do it. I don't think he would do it. Yeah. But let's talk about these Huntsville people.
Yeah, let's get into it. What are your thoughts on this?
So let's start with the question you asked of was Marcel and Melody's relationship already messed up prior to the show? We know that from that behind the scenes episode they did at the end of last season.
Yes.
Because Melody found out about Ariane when they were getting ready to start filming.
You with the names.
Yes, because I follow her on Instagram and everything. I'm just petty sometimes.
Wait, who do you follow? Melody or Ariane?
Ariane. So Melody and I got into it one day in someone's comments.
Why are you following the side piece?
Because she unlocked her page one day. I was like, let me get in now, because sometimes she'll go back and block it. So I tried to get in when it was open. I just sit there. So that's why. You gotta get in sometimes.
Okay.
But no, Melody and I got into it in the comments on someone else's page one day. And my personal thoughts with Melody is very strategic. She did this show knowing that her husband was having this relationship with this woman, because at season 1, it was already 5 years that he had been dating this one. That's a whole blown relationship. That's just not a side piece. That's a relationship at that point. So I feel like Melody strategically came on this show knowing that she wanted to get into the world of entertainment, and she was mapping her way out of the marriage. I also think that she had that 4th baby, the new baby, thinking that it was going to make Marcel stay home. And we all know that doesn't work.
Wow.
That doesn't work. And I also think Ariane kept her baby thinking, I think she kept her baby to shut Melody up. It was almost like, because allegedly, let me say, she had already had an abortion for Marcel. Allegedly. I saw that on another YouTuber's page.
Let me put this up.
Allegedly, she had already had one.
I did hear that rumor.
Yeah, so I think she did this one the second time, or kept this baby to shut Melody up and to kind of wave a something over Marcel's head as well. But what I find interesting, what's coming up, and I don't know if anyone else noticed this with the clips that are coming, when they talk about Marcel's side piece, because we already know about the 20 women and the mother already going in on that. But the clips that are coming up, if anyone watches, what's the show Nephew Tommy on OWN about the couples being hooked up?
Look, don't get me lying about what I watch on OWN.
Ready to Love is the name of the show.
Oh, yes.
So Ready to Love, there's a young lady that was on this past season that's going to be coming up in this episode, walking into black with Marcel.
Yes, I saw a lot of people comment on that.
I wonder what that, because the way they clip it is she's with Marcel, or is it a thing of they know each other through the OWN network and she just came as a guest? But the way the producers are clipping it for us to keep watching looks like she's coming in as like Marcel, one of Marcel's side 20 women. That's how I received it. I don't know if I'm like that.
I want to remind everyone, let's get to 100 likes and I'll drop the call-in link for you guys to call in as well. Just backtracking a little bit, because this episode really was focused on Martel and Melody's relationship. But Marcel, not necessarily denying the side baby situation. What were your thoughts on that? So
allegedly, rumor has it that there is a side child out there. Allegedly, rumor has it that Marcel is not the most well-endowed man, and he should be able to take whatever he can get. This show tickles me, and I follow all the ignorance that comes with it, because
I appreciate you following the ignorance, because I didn't even know that rumor.
Yes, the rumor on the streets allegedly is that he's not the most well-endowed, so he has to take what he can get. And I think he's so handsome. I love Marcel.
I don't know if I love Marcel. I think he's funny for TV.
Yes, that's what I mean.
And I do think he's handsome.
Yes.
But I prefer his brother, Maurice.
Maurice is too close to my complexion. I can use a shade darker. I'm okay with that. And then here's what I don't like about Maurice. To me, the same way Kimmy wanted Tisha to stick up for her when it came to Kiowa, whatever her name is, I need Maurice to put his foot down with her too. I feel like Maurice doesn't stick up enough for Kimmy. Not saying that Kimmy can't stick up for herself, because we see she can hold her own. But at the same time, I need you to step into this space of your family and say, hey, y'all not gonna keep talking to my wife and my lady, my woman like this. And I want to see him do that.
I agree with that. I'm surprised that Kimmy doesn't see it that way, and I wonder why.
And it may be there, and maybe it's edited out. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but the way he's perceived on this show, he doesn't have much of a backbone. Kimmy is his backbone, from my eyes.
Damn.
I need him.
Came out. You must have had a really good weekend, because you come out wow. Wow.
I missed you. I was on the yachts Friday night, and then
you ain't gotta rub that in. Okay.
Last night we was at the cigar bar getting it in, so I've been missing the lives. I've been getting it in. It's hot girl summer this weekend. Been missing it, so I'm here. And I even blocked off my calendar for 1:30 tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow for lunch. I'm here.
1:30 p.m. Eastern. Danielle's talking about our Real Housewives of Potomac recap with Layla Lynn TV and The Grace Report here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. Don't forget to go follow them, because we will be going from channel to channel every Monday, recapping your favorite Potomac of the entire franchise, basically, at this moment. So be sure to subscribe to their channels as well, so you don't miss out on any of that. Okay, let me just drop the call-in link, because I think we're almost at 100. You know who just disliked the video? Marcel. For you saying that he got a micro situation.
Oh, Marcel, you're cute and everything, but if it's true what they say about that wood, baby, we got problems.
What are your thoughts on the conversation that Martel had with the real estate agent Chris?
Okay. Martel needs to remember that Chris came to him last season and said that the company didn't even want to work with Martel because of all that was going on in social media and his whole relationship. And he had already messed up the deal. And people always say your personal life shouldn't be affected by your business. But in this situation, because your business is on a reality show and it's not the best, like you really do look like a goon, Martel, you kind of got to accept that people don't want to do business. Right now, Martel is showing that he's not trustworthy. And people don't want to work with people who aren't trustworthy. And I think realistically, and let's just say it's the good old boy system, they can probably get past the infidelity, but it's the fact that it's out in the social, it's out in the public, it's out for everyone to see, and that's why they wanted to cut ties. So Martel needs to get over the fact that the guy went to Melody. And remember, he only went to Melody to present and say, hey, what do you think? And she came back and said, well, have you talked to Martel? Because I don't want any crap. So I think it was fair the way he did it. But based on man code, you might have a point. He could have gone to Martel first, but we already know how Martel was going to react. Martel was going to hit the ceiling and kick and scream and be a big baby about it.
And this is why it's so important when you guys call in, because I forgot that's an important detail. And it also, back to what I was saying, I feel like a lot of them know how Marcel does business and they don't want to be involved with that.
Okay, so to your point of how he does business and how he needs Melody, remember when they told their story on how they got started, Marcel is the one that comes up with the ideas and the concepts, and Melody is the one that helps him strategically see them through. Because remember, Melody,
the important part,
she used to be an elementary school teacher, so it's just like she's the more organized one, and she knows how to see the project. So he's the brain to come up with it, but she's the brain of process on how to see it through. So they're actually a great couple.
They complement each other.
Business-wise, it might not have been so great in marriage. And honestly, I can't be that upset with Marcel with his mentality, because a lot of people have that old school mentality of, as long as, oh yeah, he was a teacher too. I
can imagine that being my teacher.
I know, right? I
would have been so distracted.
He could be the PE teacher, but nothing else.
I still would have been distracted.
Oh shucks, I forgot what I was trying to say.
It's all right. We can move on to something else.
Oh no, I got it. Okay. The mentality. His mentality is old school, where if I provide for my family, I should be able to do what I want to do on the side. And as long as I don't bring anything home, you shouldn't have anything to say about it. Well, you messed up, Marcel, because you brought a baby home. A whole baby. Might not have brought an STD home, but you brought a baby home. But again, I think that Ariane had that baby to prove to Melody that she was just as much important as because Melody had that fourth baby to try to keep Marcel home.
It was Melody's idea. That whole group situation. At least that's the way it was presented to us on TV.
Mm-hmm. We got to pay attention to the old, we have to remember the stuff that they talked about in season 1 and the details, or even the reunion when they brought up stuff. They've only had one reunion. Did they have a reunion for season 2? I don't remember.
Yeah, they did.
It was boring then because I really don't remember it.
I didn't love. Look, as I said before, and I'm a straight shooter. Pow, 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 pow. I don't love Love Marriage Huntsville. I see the potential, and I'm looking forward to going in other cities because I really feel like the other cities are going to outshine this particular one. But I like the groundwork. It's still interesting enough for me to watch it. And as I said to you before, I try to do shows that all of us are watching. Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I did the live that I did on Friday. It's because everyone's slipping in my DM. Are you going to be recapping this? And one of the other things, and you're one of those people that want me to recap Married at First Sight. I'm working on it, y'all.
Yeah. All right. But even with Tisha and Marcel's marriage, let's talk about that because he's shown us to be very chauvinist. And I feel like Tisha, I don't know what, like you said last week, I don't know why she got that second master's because what is she going to do with it? I forgot. I mean, really, she went and got her real estate license. She brought home a couple of deals. He was impressed. I think they just need to learn how to communicate. So his thing is she signed up to be a stay-at-home mom, and she needs to learn how to argue her point. Her point is it's time to now reevaluate the agreement we made because our kids are now at school. I don't need to be home 100%. I can go do something from 8 a.m. when I drop them off to 3 p.m. when I have to pick them up and still have your dinner ready when you get home. If she knew how to strategically word that so he could understand it and show him that the household isn't going to be affected, he would probably shut up. But she doesn't. I mean, as long as she could prove him wrong, because right now his thing is, why do I have to watch the kids? Well, they're your kids. It's not. I hate to hear men say, "Oh, I'm babysitting." No, you're not babysitting your own kid. They're your freaking kids. You're not babysitting. And he's one of those guys.
Yeah, I didn't love Marcel in the beginning. It seems as if he's become very self-aware of that he's on a reality show. So he's trying to be a little bit different, and I'm not sure how authentic that is. But as I said before, I feel like he definitely adds what we like in regards to Tisha being on the show.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I follow him on IG too, and people come for him in his comments. So really? I feel like what? Just calling him a male chauvinist, they go in on him. So I think he might have had a little reality check with maybe reading the comments. And to your point of how he's changing some, I don't think is so unauthentic. I think he might have had, because between the two of them, he is the more reasonable one when it comes to processing and talking things out. We all know Tisha's cute, but she's not the brightest candle in the box. The brightest.
You know what? You ain't got to do Tisha like that.
I
She got her second master's.
And your point is, what's the point?
And
I'm not here to dog my girls Tisha or Melody. They're both AKAs. I love them dearly just cause, but we got to call a spade, like you said. Be a shooter, pow, pow, pow. Let's call it what it is.
You're not using my own stuff on me. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the co-parenting conversation that Martell and Melody were having. What was your reaction to that scene?
I'm glad that Martell was open to go see therapy. I'm like Melody. I'm very impressed that he was open to that, because that can be challenging for anyone we're now divorced. Not only do we have to figure out our relationship, but we got to put our kids' needs first and figure out how to parent them now that we're no longer a unit. So the fact that he was open to that, the only part that I keep thinking about of that whole thing, I felt like Melody's tears were fake. They kind of remind me of Candace and folding the napkin up and touching her eye.
Really? You thought they were fake?
Yes. I just think Melody is very fake and very strategic. I do.
I mean, I do think she's very strategic, but I thought that was a real moment. Am I just naive?
Yeah, I didn't think it was real. Because how many takes did they take to do that? I don't believe that. I didn't believe that scene at all.
How many takes did they take to do? All right, hold those thoughts, Danielle. I'm going to bring up Shaquita, because I know Shaquita was in the comments and she had a lot of comments. Shaquita, what's going on?
Okay, it's so much, right? Like, so much. So help me walk this out. Kimmy, I love. Her and Latisha issue, that's a Latisha issue. Like, Latisha wants to be the center of the party. I don't know if it's because maybe she's the only girl her mother had, but she's constantly, like, seeking attention. Not quite sure why. The whole, like, Marcel talking about the cousin, was it the cousins and the dad was trying to come for him?
The cousins, the dad, the brother.
Listen, I mean, does he not think that he's above being checked?
His behavior on social media says yes. That's what he believes.
Okay, well, let me tell him. Okay, I'm from Detroit as well.
Go ahead, tell him.
Listen, I'm from Detroit as well. He's to be checked. Okay, he's to be checked. I don't know where he got this. Like, Detroit men don't act like him. Like, I think he's really trying to bring this, like, old Southern. He wants her to be the Southern belle. He's going to be her, knight in shining armor. Stop. Ain't nobody got time for that. Especially because if you ever, I don't know if you paid attention, because me and my husband rolled it back several times. I was like, well, what is this house? Like, he acting like this. What is this house? And I understand that they downgraded so they can get this build on this upgrade for Scott Manor. I understand that, but you're not above being checked, and your pockets is worth counting.
I love the fact that you and your husband watched it. What does your husband think of this show? Is this a good show for couples to watch together?
Okay, so me and my husband watched this and Put a Ring on It on the OWN network, and we also watched. We watched all the messy couple shows. We watched Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup. Life in Between Lockups. We do watch all the mess. It's
bonding. TV bonds people.
Well, it's not only that. Like, it honestly brings up, like, just we live in a small town. We live in Lansing, Michigan, which is the capital of Michigan. And we're not an interracial couple. We're two Black people. Lansing, Michigan, I think 2 years ago was the number 2 place to live if you were Black because of it being interracial.
Oh.
So we not one of those people, right? So we got to we look at these relationships and see either how we can improve, if this matters to us, or if it's just pure entertainment, and we get a little bit out of everything.
Oh.
So
Okay.
it is what it is. Okay, so that's them. Him having kids, I definitely believe he got an outside baby, Marcel. I definitely do.
Damn.
And the only reason I do believe it is because he's too like heavy on Latisha and why she need to stay at home and why she need to stay out his business. You're doing too much.
Oh.
That's just me. And if I'm wrong, I don't wish anything back on anybody's marriage because marriage is work. Okay. Then there is Kimmy and Maurice. Love Kimmy. Y'all keep calling that woman name wrong. It's Kiowa.
I know. I was like, I'm gonna go call her Kiki.
It's Kiowa.
Kiowa.
I definitely want to hear the conversation that she wants to have. I want to hear what she has to bring. Because at that reunion, I believe like she was attacking Kimmy in my personal feelings. She was attacking Kimmy for no good reason.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
good reason she's still in love.
If you mad because he moved on, say that. But you attacking this woman and she ain't did nothing, that's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
Then there is Marcel and what's homegirl name? Melody. I think. Well, first off, what is the ties that he's wearing? Me and my husband had a conversation about that. That was a 15-minute conversation because we didn't know what kind of tie is that.
Is that a Southern thing, maybe?
I don't know. We said the same thing. We was like, is that Southern? We don't know. Okay.
I don't love it though. But other than that, he's a very
I don't love it. Like, I don't know if he's trying to make a point, if this is like pertinent, or if this is really like a style situation. I don't know. But I also feel like, first off, that was planned for them to wear the same colors. That was planned. I definitely agree. But I also feel that he's literally trying to manipulate the situation so that he can feel good about himself. Marcel. He did wrong. He's not really willing to accept it. And then she called him out. Was like, you went on a whole tour. He did, because I watched that whole Steve Harvey interview, like I said last Sunday.
Oh, I'm about to say we lost audio. No. There we go.
He's wrong. He's really wrong. And if he's going to offer an apology, he needs to do better. He does. Now, I'm not saying that she's not wrong because, listen, does she host Black Love or the woman behind the man?
Yeah, that's
what it's called.
Yep. That's the show that she hosts on OWN. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, she hosts that?
Yeah. She hosts. Well, technically, it's like a pre-recorded interview, but she speaks.
She introduces the woman.
Yes.
So I think that again, Ivy said, I think that was intentional. They knew they was coming on the show with all these issues and all this baggage, so they can get their light and be shined. I don't think that they thought it was going to go this far, but they knew that they were signing up for the BS. That's just me.
Shaquita, I appreciate your thoughts. Just stay on the line. I'm going to bring up Dare You Now. What's going on?
Hello. I got opinions about Tisha.
Okay. Oh, not Tisha. Oh, poor Tisha. Did she dislike the video yet? Hold on.
No, I got opinions about that whole couple because I feel like Marcel keeps Tisha busy so he could do things on his own. I think he keeps her busy making motivational things so he could be able to move silently on his own. Because why she needed 2 masters? She didn't even finish doing what she was doing on the first and second season. Why do she need to go to school for another master? Finish some startup projects you started. You remember you trying to steal Melody logo? What happened with that? What happened?
I forgot about that.
Everybody forgot she started the podcast, the the logos, but then you went ahead and went back to school, not trying to, down the school stuff, but what happened to the startup businesses you were starting up in second season? What happened to that? I don't see none of that.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You would think after having this whole big to-do about getting a second master's, we would also hear a follow-up of what she's going to do with that. I don't think we've gotten that, have we?
No, that's the thing. And then he did the celebration in a field. I know people was hot because the girl who came confront Kimmy with was so stiff. It didn't give no flow of the hair or none of that. Like, I know Kimmy was hot out there. They look hot. And it was like a little setup. Looked like he got the little tent from his nearest Publix. Set the little chairs up and whatever. Gave a little barbecue for her. Congratulations for her getting her master's. But I never seen him congratulate her for nothing about the startup businesses she was doing in season 2.
And what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the possible side baby?
I think it's a side baby, but I don't think it's in Huntsville. I don't think he that stupid to do that side baby in the same city where her whole family across the tracks, above the tracks, along the tracks stay. I don't think that baby is in that same city.
But remember, he was dating a chick in Huntsville.
I'm sorry.
Allegedly, remember he was dating one of Melody's hairstylist, who was also Marcel's cousin, that was his side chick that from season 1. Come on, I need y'all to keep up.
I need to go back.
I have way too many shows that I'm watching to keep up with the details of these people's lives.
And I'm watching right with you. But yes, she was on the episode. She was on an episode in season 1. She came in to do. She's Marcel's cousin. She was doing Melody's hair, but allegedly that was also Marcel's side piece right there in Huntsville.
Oh wow!
That is a mess.
Now that makes me think about. That does make me think about why they responded to him when he got hurt on the field. Like, oh, you ain't learned your lesson yet, because, like, listen, we didn't cover up our mess, and you still out here being open. What is you doing, sir?
Yes, that's why Marcel was so upset with him. To your point, Shaquita, when they came off that field. And he was like, he had his bat phone, and Marcel was like, you have not learned your lesson yet. Everything else was all clean and smooth, but yet you're still being messy out here.
And why? And my thing is, you're on a reality show, and this can go to a whole slew of people that are on reality shows and know that they got all this stuff going on. Jen Shaw, Erica Girardi. But now, Marcel, if he has a side woman and a side baby, why would you continue to be on this show and almost have that scene where you don't really deny it?
Well, remember from the recap that Carlos did at the end of last season, when they started this show, they weren't going to focus on their relationships. They were trying to focus on the whole comeback group and the Black people building Black businesses. So they probably went into it not even think. One, they probably didn't even think it was going to get picked up because remember, Carlos said they had been shopping it around. And then two, if we're focusing on Black businesses and the uplifting of Black communities, they're not thinking about their relationship and their side piece. They probably like, I'm about to go buy this Mercedes coupe that I'm going to drive to this woods when we go on our little man trip. I'm going to pick you up later.
Where he got left on the side of the road.
Once I start getting this money, I can buy this Mercedes and pick you up, baby girl. We're going to hang out once I come from out these woods.
TG says this.
Why would you take a Mercedes in a wood?
TG says this. It's the narcissism that makes people think that they can get away with anything while being recorded. Good point. All right, I want to round out this conversation. We're already almost at an hour of recapping Love and Marriage Huntsville. As you know, every Sunday, the afternoon after it airs, we recap it here live with you guys. And I always love having these conversations with you. If you haven't liked this video, like this video now. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, later on today, we will be doing a Real Housewives of Potomac recap for subscribers only chat. Last week it was members only. This week it will be subscribers only. We'll be switching it around. And of course, tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern here on the channel with Layla Lynn TV and The Great Report, we will be recapping the Real Housewives of Potomac. Be here or be square. Ladies, I'm going to start with Dare You Now. Final thoughts on this latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Thanks, Kempire.
Oh, thank you. Dare you now? We're going to start with you. You're muted.
I'm sorry.
No
I'm here. What was the question? I'm sorry, my phone was ringing.
Just last minute thoughts on the latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville.
I'm waiting for Miss Tiffany to arrive about Monster, because one thing you do not do when you introduce yourself is bring up people's children and what people's children doing. I do not like that myself as a parent. Don't bring up my kids. Bring up something I did. Do not bring up my kids the first encounter at my birthday. You liable to get a drink thrown on you, girl.
Dare you now? Thank you so much for calling. Wait, you're muted.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I enjoy every time on here. I gotta continue coming up.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Last minute thoughts, Shaquita? You're muted. There we go.
I think Kyla has something to hide, or she's going to bring on something that we don't know that is like that she needs to address. Because I'm like, why couldn't you just say everything you need to say on that FaceTime call?
Because she wants to have some actual in-person camera time.
No, she don't need it. She don't need it. She don't need it. Because for what? Why? Like, she not getting a check from it. So what is that going to do?
Is she not?
Let the man. I don't think she is. Listen, I try not to count people coins. She ain't no check from this.
But she's trying to, because remember when she and one of their other brothers went on their IG lives to talk about all the things.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was a huge thing on YouTube too. She and one of their other brothers who aren't on the show, they went on their IG live and started spilling all the tea about.
Okay, so that's why Kimmy said nobody protected me or said anything about me when she was speaking all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah.
Oh, Shaquita, we lost you.
Oh, my mama called me.
Tell your mama we are trying to do a show. No playing. We can't hear you though.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Oh, we lost you again. What is going on? Shaquita, well, I'm going to have to drop you out, Shaquita. We appreciate you calling in. If you can hear us, call in next week. Of course, we recap every Sunday here on the channel, Love and Marriage Huntsville. Danielle, final thoughts on Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 3, Episode 2.
Yes, I can't wait. Well, I can't wait for the what's the new lady? Not Diamond. What's the new chick? Destiny for this party with this chick. I agree with the previous young lady. I don't like the kids. I really don't want to hear what she has to say about Monster. I think she's being messy, but I do want to hear what she has to say about the Chicken Man and Destiny and all of that. When she said that they had met before, but it wasn't her. And yeah, I do like the mess that this little lady's about to come bring, but I don't think it's fair that she's going to bring Monster into us. So I want to see how. I think Kimmy about to go off, so the girl better tread lightly. So
Kimmy is ready for her.
Yeah, Kimmy is coming, ready, shots fired. And again, I want to see how the young lady from Ready to Love is going to play in to her coming to the black soft opening or whatever it is. We see that little clip of her walking in the door with Marcel. And poor Marcel. Yeah, all of this, I love it. And I love the fact that they give us so many episodes. We get like 20 episodes with them sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't know if I like that, but it better be good episodes, Carlos. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Thank you, Danielle, for calling in.
Thanks.
Guys, again, every Sunday we are recapping Love and Marriage Huntsville. Don't forget, next Sunday, of course, we will be recapping Love and Marriage Huntsville, but also Femtaro will be here taking your questions. If there's a question about love, relationships, career, be here for that exclusive lightning round of answering your questions. We will be taking callers, so get those questions in your brain. If there's a question that you want to have, Femtaro will be coming back here on the channel. If you haven't checked out our collaboration, Walk of Femme, on her YouTube channel, where she reads the tarot cards for some of your favorite celebrities, and I read them for filth. Okay. Shout out to everyone that called in. Shout out to all the people that joined our YouTube membership. If you would like to become a member of the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, head on over to teamkempire.com. Or if you're watching this on your PC or your Mac, under the video, there should be a join button. Click that and it will give you the options for Team Kempire or our Royal Court membership. There you get loyalty badges and emojis that I'm changing and updating all the time. Thank you to everyone. If you haven't liked this video already, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Tonight, we will be doing a subscribers only live chat to recap the Real Housewives of Potomac. And don't forget, tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, we will be recapping with everyone. It will be an open chat with my girls, Layla Lynn TV and The Grace Report. So be sure to make sure that you set your reminders once we post that link up as well. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Shout out to my mods. Appreciate you all here supporting the channel. Have a fantastic Sunday, and I'll see you guys later tonight. Thanks for watching.